On today's episode, we welcome Dr. Dre Lacaille, the new scientific director of Arthritis Research Canada, North America's largest clinical arthritis research institution. Dr. Lacaille, how are you today?
I'm well. Thank you for having me on your session.
Of course. Well, first off, congratulations on your new appointment.
Well,
we understand it's a culmination of 20 years of hard work, dedication, and leadership leading to your appointment. And it couldn't happen to a more deserving person.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate.
How, I know that you've recently been appointed. I mean, it's only been probably a month and a half. How has that initial time been?
Well, the transition was a little different because of COVID. We sort of weren't able to quite have the usual acknowledgement for our scientific director as he pass the baton on, as we would say, but so it's been a quieter transition. I'm also, I've been working from home a lot, so it's kind of been a bit of a different transition, but it's been very exciting. I'm excited to be taking over as the scientific leader of the organization. It's been also very busy because as transition comes and there's different media things, and our September is Arthritis Awareness Month, so there's been a lot to do in terms of raising awareness about arthritis. So it's been a mixture of, a mixture of being busy and adapting to a new position, but overall, it's all been very good.
Yeah, I guess the good thing is that once we're out of this pandemic and we're back to work as normal, you'll probably have the best parking spot.
Yeah. There's lots of parking here. For once, parking's not an issue.
So I guess where we would like to lead off is, you've been with ARC since its founding in 1999, and have certainly been part of the incredible success over those 2 decades. Why is the role of scientific director at ARC so important to you, and what inspires you?
Indeed, I've been with Arthritis Research Canada since its beginning. I started right at the beginning. I was a trainee at Arthritis Research Canada when it started. So I feel like I've done the journey with this organization, and really, for me, why this position is important is because I believe so much in what we do at Arthritis Research Canada. I'm driven by a vision of a life where people with arthritis can live to their fullest, free of the pain. So we can't cure arthritis, but what we can do is really make a significant difference in their life so that despite the arthritis, they can live without pain and they can do the things that matter to them. And this is what the research that we do at Arthritis Research Canada aims to do, to transform the lives of people with arthritis. You asked me what inspires me. Mm-hmm. I'm a rheumatologist. I see in my clinic patients who live with this disease. So I see, but I wouldn't say firsthand, I would say secondhand, because I don't live with it. But I see secondhand what this disease does to their life. And I must say that I am really inspired by my patients. I am constantly amazed at how people who live with arthritis manage to deal with this disease, deal with the pain, and their attitude towards life and their resilience is truly amazing. And that's what inspires me. That's what keeps me going when the going gets tough, when it feels like, research requires a lot of investment in time, and there's time when you think, what am I doing this for? And then I think about my patients, and I think about their resilience, and I think about the impact that our research can have on their life, and that's what drives me.
It's reflected in the organization itself. I mean, you were part of the team that helped put together the Arthritis Patient Advisory Board at ARC. And patients have been central to the organization in terms of engagement, in terms of participation in research. And certainly your words today reflect that, and probably will make all of the members at ACE who are watching this episode just feel that much better about where the direction of ARC will be going. I guess at this point, now that we're talking about patients, I know you've spoken in the past about ways where they can get more actively involved in their care and treatment decisions, and some of the tools that not only you, but some of the other researchers and scientists of ARC have developed over the years. Maybe just touch upon a few of those things for our viewers today.
Yes, I think, so something that's really important to me, and I think that's what you were referring to, that, you know, we've seen great advances in the medicine for people with arthritis, and new medications, and you know, a lot of new treatments that are available and that have completely changed how we treat arthritis. But what we also recognize is that just inventing new drugs isn't enough, and we have to find ways to make sure that patients are actively involved in their care, so that they get the treatments that they need, and that they get the treatments that are right for them at the time that they need them. And that's not something that can happen top down. That's some things that we have to empower patients to become involved in their care. They need to understand their disease. That's why the work that you do at educating patients is so important. But we need to give them the tools so that they can be involved in their care, understand their disease, and make informed decisions, that is, shared decision making with their healthcare professional. So an example of that is I've developed a tool that allows people to monitor their symptoms, and it's like an app, and they can enter information about their pain and you know, different aspects of their disease, and with that they can monitor over time how their symptoms are. And then I was developing this, and another researcher at Arthritis Research Canada, Dr. Lendvoy, had developed another app that was using a Fitbit to keep track of people's physical activity, and coupled that with counseling from a physiotherapist to provide people with some advice on how to be physically active with arthritis, because often patients with arthritis are hesitant to be physically active. They're afraid to do too much, you know, like what's right for me. So coupling those two things together, they came up with this program to facilitate being physically active. And then we were both sort of looking at what we did, and we thought, wow, what if we put those two things together? And actually then people would be able to see how their physical activity influences their symptoms, or vice versa. Wouldn't that be you know, a great app? So, and then we sort of brought this together and developed this new app that's called Operas, and sort of put in there some features that help self-management, that allows patients to set goals and to monitor their goals and to track their disease. And so this is an example of a tool that people can use that allows them to just really become involved in the self-management of their disease and involved in their care. And they can use that when they go see their rheumatologist, because rather than just having a snapshot on that day, they can show how their arthritis has been in the last 6 months since they last saw me. Now with big data and with technology, I think it's going to completely transform how we provide care. I think we're not only going to rely on that one-time assessment when I see the patient and I examine their joints at that time and I ask them the question. I think we're going to incorporate into our treatment decision-making data from a whole bunch of different places, because now we can, with big data, we can get data from a variety of sources. We have ability for patients to track their symptoms and send this electronically, and maybe this is going to come into my EMR, my electronic medical record, so that I'm not always going to have to see patients, and I'm going to be able to, or I'm going to have a team of other health professionals that are going to be monitoring this data as it comes in to see, oh, look, you know, this wearable that a person has that's collecting data on an ongoing basis has a little red flag that has me concerned. Maybe Mrs. So-and-so is not doing so well. Maybe we should call on this person. I think we just have to think outside the box. I think, you know, how we provide care over the next decade or two is going to completely change because of technology, because of big data, various data sources. I think we're going to use artificial intelligence so that we have algorithms that put up red flags, and I think we're going to provide care in a completely different way.
It's a very exciting, bold vision, and I think a very realistic one. It reminds me as well that you are at this, I think, a real pivotal time in terms of arthritis, not only research, but actual improvement and modernization of models of care. And I'm thinking about this next generation of rheumatologists that you and the leaders at ARC are going to be responsible for bringing up through the ranks and who will be practicing at this time of great change. I'm wondering what kind of message you have for this next generation of rheumatologists.
I think probably the message would be open to new technologies and new ideas and new opportunities. Don't be afraid. Because, you know, using these technologies and using them in a way that advances care can be intimidating for rheumatologists. In some ways, we lose a bit of control, and it has to be managed in a way that works well for everybody. I mean, if I'm getting data, I'm responsible for data. So therefore, and I can't be checking things all the time. So we need to figure out how to do this in a way that works well for the patient and in a way that works well as well from the rheumatologist. But we shouldn't be afraid of it because we don't yet know how to use it. We shouldn't be afraid of it. So that would be one message. I think the other message is technology is great, but let's not lose track of the patient. You know, the patient is at the center, and the patient and what the patient has to say and how the patient feels in that one-on-one interaction with the patient that we develop, and that is so beautiful, and what attracted me to rheumatology in the first place is something that is the most important ingredient in a good relationship with the rheumatologist and in a good outcome of that therapeutic relationship. So we can't lose touch of the personal aspect of rheumatology and never forget the patient, no matter how good the technology is. That would be my second message.
ACE and ARC have enjoyed a great working relationship over the years.
Definitely.
And we certainly look forward to that continuing under your new leadership. And this seems to be a common point that we're talking about right now, is that the delivery of healthcare, and particularly as it relates to arthritis patients across Canada, is changing, is going to go through a transformative change over the next 10 years. And really there's a role for both of our organizations, for specialists, researchers, and patients to be advocating to make sure that these changes are in the best interests of patient care. So I think we're very much aligned, and we're again very, very excited for you and your new appointment and continuing our collaboration with ARC. So thanks so much for taking time and joining us today, Dr. Lacaille.
Well, thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate. And, you know, at Arthritis Research Canada, what we do is we do the research. That's what our specialty is. So, but, you know, we also have to get the word out. And you've been very helpful in getting the word out about those research findings. And it's important for people to we have to translate these findings into knowledge for the person living with arthritis so that they can use that knowledge and use it in their everyday life. And that's where I think that our two organizations can work together very well. So thank you, Kelly, and thank you for having me on this episode. And I just want to end by saying that I'm thrilled to have taken over as the Scientific Director of Arthritis Research Canada, and I really look forward to the future and what I know in the next decade will be a lot of very exciting discoveries, and I have no doubt that the lives of people with arthritis are going to continue to improve as we make new discoveries. Thank you.
Thanks for that wonderful closing. And to all of our viewers, that's a wrap of today's episode. And we ask you to join us again next week for another edition of Arthritis at Home.